Hey folks, I'm David on Earth. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to talk about winter hiking today and some of the dangers and things you should be aware of in winter hiking. One of the big ones is frostbite. Now the parts of our body we want to especially be careful of is our hands and our feet and our face, like our nose and our ears. So let's talk about those and how we could potentially avoid frostbite. First, let's talk about our feet. Okay, so in the summertime, it's all about lightweight shoes, right? It's all about breathable. Well, in the wintertime, it's kind of the opposite. The best advice is to get waterproof boots and or insulated boots. Of course, the insulated ones are going to be more helpful in the extreme cold, but it should be waterproof. You want your feet to be dry. If you're going to be trekking through the snow, you want some good high-top boots. You might also want to think about ankle gaiters. And the purpose of both of those is to keep snow out of getting from inside of your shoe, because once it gets inside your shoe, it melts. And then your feet get wet, and then your feet get cold. Now, I just got to camp not long ago, and my shoes stayed mostly dry because I have them all covered up with my boot gloves. But I could tell my feet got a little wet and they're starting to chill off a little bit. So what I'm going to do is swap up my socks with some nice dry socks right away. Yeah, they feel warm already. So if you have really well insulated boots, you don't really need heavy socks in there, because if you put on heavy socks and insulated boots, your feet are going to sweat more, and wet feet means cold feet a little bit later on. So think about putting light or medium weight socks on your insulated boots. You know, all it takes is to stop just for a few minutes if it's very cold outside for you to start feeling your feet starting to chill off. Now, even after you've done all of this and your feet still might be getting a little cold, then walk around a little bit. Maybe walk in place. Maybe take a little hike down the trail a little bit and come back. Don't do it too much so your feet sweat a lot, but just so your feet start warming up, because once you get inside of your sleeping bag at night, it's really hard to get your feet back warm again. So get your feet warm, especially before you get into your sleeping bag at night. Let's talk about your hands. Now, I had mild cases of frostbite when I was younger especially, and I still feel it today. So, you know, take this frostbite stuff seriously. When it comes to hands, you look on the manufacturer's marketing material when you're looking to buy gloves or mittens. Sometimes that stuff can be misleading, it can be confusing, it can frustrate you because you really don't know what to believe as you're reading all this stuff. And then you look at the reviews and the same thing. It's kind of mixed, right? And then you ask your friends and they give you recommendations, and you go out and you buy those gloves and they just don't seem to work the same as what you were told they should. So there's a lot here about gloves that you're just going to have to kind of figure out. But let me give you some shortcuts. And this is about the point where I turn to scientific studies. And these kind of studies should make you a little bit more informed, because they are looking at all the different factors from a scientific point of view and not from, you know, someone's feelings. Sorry if I hurt your feelings. So I did find one study from Antarctica, and it was not paid for any of the manufacturer of, you know, these kind of gloves and mittens. So I think that's important. Here's a few of their conclusions. If you get a heated gloves or heated mittens, and those work pretty well. And if you're not in the market to go buy any kind of heated gloves or mittens, the second best thing was mittens with liners. And today on my trip, that's exactly what I brought. And they fit pretty loose. When I buy gloves, I like to have them a little bit loose, because it allows the air to heat up inside of each one of these little digits, and it keeps my hands a little bit warmer. So if you're going to buy mittens or gloves, buy them a little bit bigger. And so then I have these mittens that I put over the top of them. Now, these are not for extreme cold, but these are waterproof, which means my hands will stay warmer, and it also allows that little bit of air inside of here. They're not very well insulated, but they do trap a little bit warm air in here, and on mild days like today, these work really well. So mittens with liners, choice number 2. And mittens with liners worked better than unheated gloves. And then the last thing that they found out on this study is that you get what you pay for. The higher cost gloves or mittens tended to work better than the lower cost ones. So if you're looking for a place to spend smart money, this is probably a good place if you're going to be spending a lot of time out here in the wilderness in the winter. Of course, with mittens you have less dexterity, right? So if you just put on a mitten, I can't do much with my fingers. It's my thumb and whatever else I can try. It just doesn't work very well. Now gloves are a little bit better, but gloves don't keep you as warm as mittens. So that's the trade-off. You know, another benefit of having mittens over gloves is that you get the best of both worlds. You're walking along, hands warm, very good, very nice. Oh, I gotta take it off because I have to do something with my pole or tie a knot or something. All right, so then you take these off. Your hands are not exposed to the cold air, and you can do what you need to do, and you can put them back in. So that's really that's the best bet. That's the best advice I can give you. Mittens with liners. Now there are some things on the market there that are kind of in between a mitten and a glove. You know, for instance, they might have an index finger and a thumb, and then the rest of them are the mitten. But you know, you're falling into that space in between a glove and a mitten at that point. You're going to give up some of the warmth by not having a full mitten. So again, trade-offs. Next is to talk about your head. How do you keep your head from getting frostbite? Let's talk specifically nose and ears. Those are usually the places that get hit the first and the hardest whenever we're talking about frostbite. So it is starting to get a little chilly out here. So what am I going to do? I'm going to warm up. Ooh, messy hair, David. Put on a hat. Pretty simple. Cover your ears. All right, this doesn't do anything for my nose. What can, really? I have this little neck gaiter here that I use. This comes in really handy. Not only does it keep my neck nice and warm, it keeps my body heat inside of here. I can also cover up my nose. And I actually do this at night when I'm in my sleeping bag. I'll cover myself up like this. Not because I'm afraid of getting frostbitten. It just helps keep my nose warmer. So this is how you can do it. But just down, you know, if you got goggles or something, all your skin is covered. You can also do a balaclava, and those work out really well, especially in extreme temperatures. I would take a balaclava if it's going to get like really cold. So that's how you protect your face. Pretty simple stuff. What's another thing to talk about for the wintertime that might not be the same in the summertime? Snot. Your nose runs a lot more in the wintertime as what it does in the summertime. And there's a reason for that. I looked it up. I'm not really smart. I just look stuff up. The purpose of your mucous membranes in your nasal passages is to keep the moisture level and the temperature of the air coming into your lungs at the right, temperature and humidity. Now, when it's cold outside, you're breathing in cold air. It triggers those mucous membranes to say, hey, I need to produce more stuff in order, to protect the lungs. And so that's why you get a lot of snot in the wintertime. And how you prevent against that? Well, you just need to keep your nose a little bit warmer. So balaclava, again, that'll help. Maybe your neck gaiter like this, that'll help too. And I always bring a handkerchief when I'm out here, so I don't look like I'm a snotty. Now the last thing I'll talk about is the sun. Now the sun, just because it's cold outside, don't be fooled. The UV from the sun can be as intense, or maybe even more intense, in the wintertime than what it is in the summertime. Now the sun's at a little bit lower angle, so the UV is a little bit less intense from that perspective. But if you're in a snowy place and you have the sun reflecting off the snow, that UV reflects off the snow. And so now you have UV coming at you from all different kinds of angles. So it's important to protect yourself against UV in the wintertime. You can do this by using sunscreen for any kind of exposed skin, or if it's just cold outside, cover up all your skin. I mean, it's just that simple. So, but use sunscreen in the wintertime. And the sun, especially reflecting off of the snow, can cause snow blindness in some extreme conditions. And did you ever notice, I don't know if you live in a place where there's snow or not, But if you're outside in the wintertime without any glasses on, and you're out there maybe shoveling or doing something, even if the sun's not shining, and you walk inside, it's like your eyes have to adjust. Well, the reason is because that sun is really intense off of the snow into your eyes. So whenever you're outside in the wintertime, use your shades. You know, these are prescription. You can use regular sunglasses. If you have goggles, make sure they have tinted screens in them. Okay, so those are my tips for winter hiking or winter backpacking. And if you have any, if you are a seasoned hiker out here in the wintertime and you have some tips that you can pass along, down in the comments below, please and thank you. Once again, I'm David on Earth. Thank you for coming to the channel. And like I always say, go live like you want it. Bye. I'll see you on the trail. Hey, this is David on Earth. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And go to the website for some deals on gear. All right, see you on the trail.